be talking about simplifying fractions or rational. Remember, any fraction is really a rational number. Your learning target today, you can simplify fractions with variables. Because you know how to simplify normal fractions. I am not going to waste your time with that. I'm just going to extend it with variables. Okay? First thing you need to know is the vocab word expand. Expand just means to write out fully. And we're going to be talking about expanding with exponents. For example, if I had 2 to the 4, that would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's what I mean by expanding. That's what we're going to do today. Exponent represents repeated multiplication. And you need to know that vocab word. Okay, I have my notes written weird today. This is a new topic. It is how we simplify variable expressions. That's our heading. It should have a heading in your notes. It doesn't, but I'm talking about what are we going to do? How are we going to simplify it? The first thing you're going to do is expand the variable. You're going to expand out the variable. Or numbered. Sometimes I give you numbers as well. You're just going to expand it out. What I mean by expand, write out fully like I have up here by the vocab word. Secondly, we're going to cross out the shared variables or numbers on the top and the bottom. Okay, so cross out shared variables on the top and the bottom. And then lastly, you're going to rewrite with exponents. So first, expand them out. Second, cross out anything they have in common. Third, rewrite with exponents. Moving on to this first example, a squared over a to the 5th. Says the first thing I need to do is expand out the variables. A squared, how many a's are there?
A times A.
A times a, there's 2. So I write a times a over a to the 5th. I have 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's step 1. Step 2 says to cross out anything they have in common. Now what am I left with on this numerator?
3 A's.
On the denom, I'm left with 3 A's. What am I left with on top?
0.
Not a 0. 1. 1 hides. Remember, 1 hides. You don't write 0. It is not equivalent. You would write 1 over 3 A's, which is a cubed. And that would be your final answer. You don't write 0. Do not do it. Because 0 divided by something would be 0. So it's a whole different ball of wax. Remember, 1 is super shy. It only comes out when it absolutely needs to. And then you let it disappear when it can. Okay? All right, a squared b to the 5th c cubed over a squared b to the 7th c squared. All right, write small. Start expanding it out. You're going to expand it as well. I have 2 a's, 5 b's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 c's. I don't have any room. So I'm actually going to shift this down here. Okay, 3 C's. Okay, I got messy. Over, I have 2 A's on the bottom, so I go A times A, 7 B's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 C's. Cross out what they have in common. I have an A, I have another A. Okay, I have some B's in common. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 B's I had in common, and I have some C's in common. 1, 2, I'm left with a C there, it's hiding, but it's there, okay? I look like I disconnected it, but it's not. So what am I left with on top?
C.
Over, what am I left with on the bottom?
B squared.
C over B squared, final answer. Okay. Okay, x cubed y to the 4th over xy to the 5th. I have 3 x's, 4 y's, all over 1 x and 5 y's. Cross out what I have in common. I'm left with how many x's on top? 2. X squared over, what do I have on the bottom? Y. I have a y. Final answer. X squared, y to the 6th over y cubed, z to the 4th. I know I'm going to need some room here, so I'm going to move this over if I can. Okay. So, expand it out. I have 2 x's on top, 6 y's, all over 3 y's, 4 z's. Cross out what I have in common. I don't have any x's, I have some y's. It looks about all I can cross out. So I'm left with 2 x's, 3 y's on top, over, oh, why do I have 3 y's on top? Yep, I do, okay. Over 4 z's. X squared, y cubed over z to the 4th. You have numerical examples, and I didn't put them, I just kind of threw them in at the last minute before I printed them. For numerical examples, it's the same way. You expand out as normal. I have a 3 on top, 4 3's on the bottom. Cross out the common factor. What am I left with on the top? John?
Nothing.
But what's nothing? 1. 1 has to come out now. It's really a 1 on top. So it's 1 over, and then I have 3 3's. You can simplify that. That's not that hard. 3 times 3 is 9, times a number, another 3 is 27.
You
1,
have to, though?
yep, 127. If they're easy enough to figure out, yes, you have to do it. 2 is 5 to the 4th over 5 squared. 4 5's on top. 2 5's on bottom. Cross out the common factors. I'm left with 5 squared, which is 25. Next one that you have, 15 cubed over 15. I have 3 15's on top, a 15 on the bottom. Cross out that shared 15. I'm left with 15 squared, which happens to be 225. Last numerical example. I have 4 to the 5th over 4 to the 8th. 4 5's on top. Actually, 5 5's on top. Over 8 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cross out common factors. What am I left with on top?
1.
1 over how many 4's?
4 cubed.
4 cubed, which is 64. Not too shabby. Okay, flip it. Now we're just dealing with some coefficient examples. First thing you're going to do is just like the previous page, expand the exponents and then simplify the coefficients. So you expand the exponents and simplify the coefficients. Remember, the vocab word coefficients means number in front of a variable. Coefficient is number in front. This turns into 3 and 4x's over 9, 1x, 2y's. All I get is an x that cancels out. 3 and 9 share a factor of 3, so that turns into 1/3. Dividing them both by that 3, and I get 1, which I don't even, now I can let 1 disappear again. It doesn't need to stay up, and I'm left with just x cubed over 3y squared. A squared b to the 4th over 20a cubed b to the 4th c. I have 2a's, 4b's over a 20 and 3a's, 4b's in a c. All right, my a got canceled out. I can cancel out some b's. I'm just left with 12 on top, but 12 and 20 I can simplify. 4 goes into both of them. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 20 divided by 4 is 5. This turns into 3 on top over 5ac on the bottom. Writing down what I have left. Last one. Negative 15, x to the 4th y, z to the 5th. Negative 15, 4x's, a y, 5z's, over 35 and 4y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, done. Okay. Cross out common factors. Oh, all that expansion, I can only cross a y out. You know what a good trick of the trade is? If you know they don't share anything in common, don't bother expanding it out. Because you know you're not going to. The purpose for expanding is to cross out what they have in common. So if they don't have anything in common, I wouldn't have even had to write out z, because the bottom doesn't have z. Anyways, divide them both by 5. And I get negative 3x to the 4th, z to the 5th, over 7y cubed. Now keep in mind, again, some of you know the pattern. You see what is happening. Keep it to yourself. Everybody has to show the expansion part on the front side of your worksheet. Every single student has to show that. The back side, if you know the pattern and you want to apply the pattern, you are more than welcome to apply it. But the front side, you have to show the long way. Make sense?